What's good, gang? It's your man Focus. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel so you can get more how-tos. I'm gonna be dropping one every week, ladies and gentlemen. This is how-to number 2. You know, appreciate the feedback that I got on number 1. I did an Instagram poll for y'all just to see what y'all wanted next. Basically, I wanted to see who wanted camera settings or who just wanted overall general tips on how to shoot basketball. I got a lot of feedback on just general tips on shooting basketball. So I'm assuming it's a lot of y'all thinking about getting into it, thinking about getting a camera. So we're gonna dive right into 5 tips on how to shoot basketball. And these tips are really good tips. You can use these in other areas of content creation. These tips are things that I work on still today, like today, as I'm about to go to the game. Shout out North Mech, round 3. Shout out Isaiah Evans, Duke commit, man. Go Duke. Yeah, y'all know how I go, man. Shout out to Isaiah Evans, man. I got 5 tips for y'all, and we about to dive into those 5 tips right now. You following Focus, like the video, subscribe to the channel, man. Let's get right to it.
Loud pack. Sometimes this get shaky. Hey. Sometimes this get shaky, sometimes this get rocky. I mash on the gas like I'm Ricky fucking Bobby. Sometimes this get shaky, sometimes this get rocky. I mash on the gas like I'm Ricky fucking Bobby. 16 shot me till my core. My mama woke me up saying that my brother was no more. Heart still bruised, feel the soreness from the tears that my eyes cried. Felt like 100 years. At 19, my father dropped off, had a heart attack and said he was gone. I still remember my uncle's call.
All right, tip number 1 in shooting basketball. I think this is the most important tip there is, and like I said, you can use this in other events, filming other content besides just basketball. And number 1 is make sure you're on time. And when I say on time, I'm not saying on time when it starts. As a content creator, the cameraman, you gotta be there before everybody else gets there. So if you're not 30 minutes early, then you're late. If you're on time, then you're late. So you need to be there 30 minutes to an hour early before this game starts, before your event starts, and I promise you, it's gonna make your final product 10 times better than if you were to show up on time on the hour. A prime example, showing up on time to a basketball game right when it starts. Coming in the door as they're calling the players. You're already missing, you know, special celebrations that the starting 5 might have with their guys. That's a lot of content right there for you to make your video a lot better. So just think about that. Think about trying to beat, you know, the traffic. If it's a big game, it's gonna be a long line. And just because you're the cameraman does not always mean they're gonna let you pass everybody. Trust me and believe, I'm speaking from experience. You know, depending on where you're at, depending on if they know you, you know what I'm saying, you be good, you can walk through, you can be that guy. But if they don't know you, and you know, it might be a state playoff game where the NCHSAA rules are different, ladies and gentlemen. Just because you have a camera does not make you special in this world. So just know, if you get there before everybody else, it's a lot of stress you're having to avoid, a lot of questions and just answers that you don't have to give because it's already given, and you already there. You getting early B-roll shots of the players walking in. I'm giving y'all some juice, man. So, but listen, players walking in and they fits, and you can get some roll tape for the ankle, all kinds of nice stuff, man. Like, get there early, man. 30 minutes early, you on time. If you on time, you late. And if you stick to that, I promise you, you're gonna be different out there, man. That's tip number 1. All right, so tip number 2 when shooting basketball, man, shooting them hoops. This is something that I had to learn over time. So the first thing you want to do is pick your spot. As the cameraman, again, if you get there late, you're gonna be at a disadvantage of finding good spots. And as far as camera angles goes, the fans, they get the final say, so they paid to get in, so they gonna sit where they want to sit at. I promise you, they don't care. So if they're allowed to be there, they gonna be there. So you gotta find, get there early so you can find a spot, and also plan your spots ahead. This is like a tip within a tip. Try not to sit in one spot while you're shooting. If you're shooting in a broadcast style and you're posting the full game on YouTube, this is something that you don't have to really worry about. You can, find that mid spot right there in the middle, up high, and give a nice solid game view. But if you're shooting and filming, you want to get, the creative mixed styles, and you want to get up close to your player and things like that, you need to kind of have a mindset of where your spot's at on the court that you're allowed to be at, and the ones that you might have to, battle for. As far as you might be at an event with 20 or 30 cameramen. You might be at a basketball event with only 2 or 3, so you can move around freely. So it all depends on how packed the game is. But overall, when you get there, pick your spot, have a good spot to where, hey, I might have to be there the entire game. I'm okay with this. The most famous spot, and we all know it, we all see it. If you're a basketball player, you definitely see it. Everyone loves being under the basket, on the baseline in the middle. This is like really it's not a good spot. It's a great spot, but at the end of the day, a lot of times it's not safe. So, most serious games with players of high calibers and things like that, they're not gonna let you sit in that spot that you normally see people sitting at. So, to prevent your head in a spin, you need to have 2 or 3 spots that that you can go to, that no one will give you any issues over, and you can do what you gotta do. So in the middle, up high, you can get the full game. If you're watching players on both teams, you might be watching a good game. You might not be following specifically one player. It's all about how you're shooting this game. So tip number 2 is just find your spots and plan ahead, and also, if you can, move around and get different angles as much as you can. That always helps with the final product. All right, tip number 3. This is a big one for me. It took me about 2 to 3 years to really get good at. And that is follow the basketball. Keep your eyes on the ball. As the cameraman, the one holding the camera, your eyes are the camera. So try not to get, too wild in a nice basketball move to where you're looking at the player with your actual eyes and not the camera, because you'll get out of frame. Actually being able to follow the basketball in a shot is gonna make your shots a lot better. It'll help tell the story. It gives space and time between clips. So follow the basketball, keep your eye on the ball, and make sure you just use the term as my eyes are the camera. A lot of times, even still today, I find myself, back and forth trying to follow the ball, and depending on the level of basketball that you're filming, if you're filming college basketball, that ball's gonna move way faster. Like, it might not seem like it when you watch games on TV, but when you're actually following the basketball with the camera, ball movement speed goes higher. The better the players are, the better the teams, the higher caliber players you're around. So you got to be able to follow the basketball with the camera. Keep your eyes on the camera at all times, and that's gonna help you. So you're gonna run into situations if you're on the baseline and you're sitting down with the team's coming towards you, for example, and you've got a referee running towards you and he's running baseline. These are all little things that can distract you and get your eye off the camera. If someone's in your way, you'll just have the natural sense to look at them or look at what's in your way of the shot. And so the best thing is to always find spots that you won't be in a worry of someone blocking your shot to where it distracts you and gets your eyes off the ball. These are very, very crucial things that you can miss celebrations, you can miss made shots, you can miss important shots because your eyes go away from the camera and you think that your camera is actually filming it, but it's not. I've been in that situation a lot. So keep your eyes on the ball and keep your eyes on the camera, and you'll always win. I'm telling you, it's gonna elevate your shots. You're gonna go from a B grade to an A grade just from following the ball at all times. I promise you that. Tip number 4. This one is gonna help keep you engaged in following the ball. And tip number 4 is don't stop recording unless the play is completely dead. And when I say completely dead, I mean there's no reactions from the players. They're giving the ball to the referee so they can, start a new possession. They're actually walking towards their huddle as a timeout. Those are the only times that you want to really completely shut the camera off in record mode. When I first started, I would see the basket go in and stop recording. I missed the celebration. Those are money shots. Those are the shots that make your production look the best. So I learned to just never stop recording until I know, the possession is completely dead. So anytime I hear the whistle being blown, that is not a sign to stop recording. You want to see a bad foul call or a bad call and a coach reaction or a player reaction. You want to catch those things. So never stop recording just because you hear the whistle blow. Study body language and just know the game that, okay, new possession, the ball is completely dead. There's nothing going on. And then you can stop your recording and then start it back over. So, tip number 4 is I don't got too much to say about it. Just don't stop recording unless it's okay to. Never stop recording until that possession is completely dead. And you'll see that you'll have more B-roll to work with, and more engagement just for your viewers to, feel like they're into the game at times if you're giving them that broadcast look and you want them to watch the game just like you were. My last and final tip on shooting basketball, number 5, man. Tip number 5. Listen, don't be afraid to get up in the personal space of the players, get close-up shots within the huddle at any time that you're allowed to, be super close to things that the fans can't get to, that they wouldn't normally see. Take advantage of those moments, man. Don't be afraid to get close to the huddle. During things like the national anthem, we want to respect the country, but at the same time, those are good shots, getting the players in those moments that people don't normally see. I think that's a big key in the final product and, storytelling. You want to have those shots that people don't normally see with their own eyes. It's going to make them feel like they're drawing into the story more, and also the players themselves, they love to see those moments of them being passionate, so don't be afraid to get up close to your subjects, man. I've seen a lot of cameramen at times, shy away from that, and I encourage everybody, if you're in this content creation world, man, get up close, get those shots that people don't normally get a chance to see with the naked eye, and that's gonna help make the final product better, especially when you're taking photos. You might be doing a creative mix like I do for the Instagram Reels. Those moments are key moments, man. So don't be afraid to get up close and get shots that you might feel like those are money shots, man, for real. All right, man, so a quick rundown on those 5 tips, man. Tip number 1, get there super early, 30 minutes to 1 hour to avoid any troubles, man. Tip number 2, make sure when you arrive, you find a good spot and plan your other spots. Make sure you know what type of content you're giving your people, whether that be broadcast style or you might be doing a creative mix style. So picking your spots and knowing your spots is tip number 2. Tip number 3, make sure you keep your eyes on the camera, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the ball. Keep your eyes on the camera at all times. The camera is your eyes. Those are your eyes. Just keep that in mind, and you'll go very, very far in this world. Number 4, don't stop recording until you know the possession is completely dead. All emotions are out of the way and the play is about to be reset, man. So tip number 4, never stop recording. Tip number 5, don't be afraid to get up close and personal and get those shots that the naked eye doesn't normally see, ladies and gentlemen. So those are your 5 tips for shooting basketball. Next week I got y'all camera settings. I don't know how many tips I'm gonna give. Honestly, really been thinking hard on this one. The camera settings is a little tricky. So make sure y'all stay locked in. Make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Get down in the comments below and say drop settings video for me, and I'ma have that for y'all next week. You following Focus, stay locked in, and stay blessed up, man. I'm out of here.